copy this link. Give me a second, guys. I'm just going to copy the link. Oh God, why is it not coming up? Anyhow, I'll do Jai Dhwani while I wait for the video to come up. Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandhar Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Juki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Juki Jai Nitila Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shmad Shala Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Gurudev Ki Jai Nitila Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shmad Shala Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai Nitila Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shmad Shala Bhakti Vedanta Sai Maharaj Shala Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitila Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shmad Srila Bhakti Vigyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai Nitila Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shmad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitila Vishnu Mahabhagavat Srila Goksharas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nitila Vishnu Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Oh shit Nitila Vishnu Vaishnav Sarvabhamo Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupa Manjari Guru Varga Ki Jai. Sorry, I messed something up. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Patidash Raghunath Shara Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Surup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gopal Shada Vrinda Ki Jai Nama Chai Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Sorry, I messed something up. Prem Seko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandal Gaura Mandal Braja Mandal Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Sarva Vishwabhadata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Radhakun Shamakun Ki Jai Shri Mona Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. Alright, just now shared the link for everything. There. Alright, let me share my screen. Hari Bol Manjari Didi. Alright. Oh man, this kirtan outside's a little bit distracting for me. Anyhow, let me close this. Alright, so welcome to the second week of Shlokas. We're doing now 3 verses on Guru Tattva. And this first verse is explaining what are the qualities, what are the qualifications of a guru, and also of a disciple, actually. So this is from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 11, Canto 11, Chapter 3, verse 21. And so I'm just going to go through all these words first, and then, so I'll just begin. And then afterwards, I'll do a little explanation, and then we can go practice reciting this. So tasmād. Tasmād means therefore. And why does it say therefore? I think it'd be good for us to get some context. So here's from the 3rd chapter of the 11th canto. King Nimi said, "O great sage, please explain how even a foolish materialist can easily cross over the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord, which is always insurmountable for those who are not self-controlled." Sri Prabhupada said, "Accepting the roles of male and female in human society, the conditioned souls unite in sexual relationships. Thus, they constantly make material endeavors to eliminate their unhappiness and unlimitedly increase their pleasure. But one should see that they inevitably achieve exactly the opposite result. In other words, their happiness inevitably vanishes, and as they grow older, the material discomfort increases. And wealth is a perpetual source of distress. It is most difficult to acquire, and it is virtual death for the soul. What satisfaction does one actually gain from his wealth? Similarly, how can one gain ultimate or permanent happiness from one's so-called home, children, relatives, and domestic animals, which are all maintained by one's hard-earned money? One cannot find permanent happiness, even on the heavenly planets, which one can attain in the next life by ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices. Even in material heaven, the living entity is disturbed by rivalry with his equals and envy of those superior to him. And since one's residence in heaven is finished with the exhaustion of pious fruitive activities, the denizens of heaven are afflicted by fear, anticipating the destruction of their heavenly life. Thus they resemble kings who, though enviously admired by ordinary citizens, are constantly harassed by the enemy kings, and who therefore never attain actual happiness. So nowhere in this world, and nowhere even in the heavenly planets, is there any actual happiness. So that's why it says therefore. Therefore, because you can't obtain any happiness in this earth planet or the heavenly planets, gurum prapadyeta. One should, of a bona fide guru, of a sadguru, prapadyeta, one should take shelter. Actually, in this Bengali Chaitanya Gaudiya Math edition of Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says Sharanagat hoive. So one should become completely surrendered. One should surrender. And yeah, one should take shelter, one should surrender. Same thing, basically. Who should take shelter? That person who is inquisitive, jijñāsuḥ, inquisitive of, and śreya means good, welfare, well-being, welfare. It's like kalyan. One's welfare, I guess. Welfare is good. Good. And uttamam means topmost. The ultimate, one's ultimate good. Topmost. Oops, I forgot ultimate. So, these first two lines are actually describing the qualities of a disciple. A disciple, a shishya, should be inquisitive about one's topmost welfare, one's ultimate welfare, the topmost good. And if you're actually inquisitive about that, then because there's two things, there's śreya and there's pare, right? So pare is just wanting what is immediately pleasing to me, which will just bind us in this material world, like what my senses want. But śreya is actually your spiritual welfare, your ultimate, your transcendental welfare. So somebody who's actually inquisitive about their ultimate good, that means that they've actually given up some kind of, desire for their immediate happiness, like their immediate pleasure, and their prayer. So that's one quality. And then the next quality is they should completely surrender themselves to Sri Guru. They should become sharanagat. They should should take shelter of Sri Guru. And now these are the qualities of Sri Guru. One is, Sri Guru is in the scriptures, like in the Vedas, in the śābde Brahma, and in the Lord. Cha means and. So in the scriptures, cha, and. In the Lord, niṣṇātaṁ. Niṣṇātaṁ means, in the Bengali book here, they translate it as abhigya, so conversant, learned. I looked up this word in the Sanskrit dictionary. Let's see. Yeah, and so here's from Veda base, being merged in, expert through complete study, fully realized, very experienced, well-versed, absorbed, perfectly knowledgeable. So these are all words of like how niṣṇātaṁ has been translated. And but something I found interesting here. So this, I don't normally look at things like this. I was just searching this verse, and this is actually from Satya Narayan, I think. or from one of his followers or disciples, I don't know. And yeah, normally I wouldn't even like pay any heed to this because it's not really fully in our Sarasvat line. But there's something interesting because there's a parallel from what Srila Prabhupada says here. So he says the word niṣṇātaṁ means that a person is drenched in knowledge, like one is drenched when taking a shower. And, so, and then, and the guru is also drenched, niṣṇātaṁ, in experience of para Brahma. So this word niṣṇātaṁ, even though in the Sanskrit dictionary I didn't see any word like drenched, we do see Srila Prabhupada says completely absorbed, and where does he say? Oops, this is the wrong word. Anyhow, yeah, Srila Prabhupada says absorbed, merged in. So I guess that's also like being drenched, but then also, Rupa Manjari pointed this out to me. Srila Prabhupada says, where does he say this? He says, okay, so the symptom of acharya, and śābde pare niṣṇātaṁ, and he has taken full bath in the ocean of transcendental, and then it's indistinct. This shastra, like, these scriptures, and also in the Lord, śābde and pare. The śābde, the scriptures, and pare in the Lord. So he's taking full bath. So Srila Prabhupada also used that, and like being completely soaked, immersed, drenched, taking full bath. Anyhow, but I think I'm just going to go with the normal way of translating niṣṇātam. It can mean realized, abhigya, are well versed. What else? Anyways, you get it. So then brahmaṇy. So brahmaṇy means the absolute truth in the form of śābde and in the form of pare. So you hear these terms śābde Brahma and pare Brahma. So let's see. Let's just take this śābde. Oops, it'd be a short A. Śābde Brahman. See, so śābde Brahma and pare Brahma. So I'm going to write that here. Pare Brahma. So that is the, transcendental scriptures, like our how would you translate śābde Brahma? Anyways, the Vedas, that's śābde Brahma. The Vedas, the form of the Lord, and the Lord in the form of words, and then pare Brahma, also the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord Krishna. So you see, you put these two together, śābde Brahma and pare Brahma. So somebody who's completely realized in śābde Brahma and pare Brahma, and who is upaśama-āśrayam. So wait, let me see. Oops, sorry, 1 second. Okay, so in the two aspects of Brahma, śābde Brahma and pare Brahma. So this all goes together. Oh God, sorry. Thank you for being patient with me. So śābde pare niṣṇātaṁ brahmaṇy, that all goes together. And then upaśamāśrayam. This is the third qualification. He's completely, I had a hard time understanding this one also, but we see it says peaceful. If we look up this word upaśama, means, this is from, the Monier-Williams dictionary, it says tranquility of mind, calmness, peaceful. And then also these words, cessation, becoming quiet, like alleviation. So, and let's see, where it is some, Srila Prabhupada says, diminishing, suppressing, fixed in detachment from material affairs, control of the senses. Anyway, so there's this idea of being completely free from. Also, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur actually he explains it, ragadir rahit. So he's completely devoid of or free from, material anger and greed, illusion, envy, pride, all those kinds of all those bad qualities. And we see this verse here from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Bhakta Nishkam Atta Eva Shanta. A devotee, because a devotee of Lord Krishna is nishkam, he's free from any desires, free from any of these material things, rag, desha, all these. So he is peaceful. So that's kind of the feeling I'm getting from this, upaśamā-āśrayam. So he's completely peaceful, being free from, what did Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur write? Free from rag, and so on. So that means from attachment and anger and greed, illusion, envy, pride, all those things. Okay, so he's completely beyond all those, completely free from all those things. This material world doesn't have any effect on him. He's completely beyond this material world. So these are the three qualifications of guru. Let's make this smaller. So one is śābde. He is niṣṇāta. He's niṣṇāta. Wait one second. Niṣṇātaṁ. So he's śābde brahma niṣṇātaṁ. He is fully realized, and conversant. Conversant, I think, is a good word. Conversant in the scriptures, and he's also śābde brahma niṣṇāta. Let me just copy this. He is fully realized in the abs, and this, he's fully realized the Supreme Lord, Krishna. It's not theory for him. He's actually fully had, full direct experience of Śrī Kṛṣṇa. What is it in the commentary here? It says aparokṣanubhavena gyata tattvam. So he's had, experience of aparoksha, of the transcendental Lord. And then upaśamāśrayam. One second. So this is 1, 2, and 3. These are the 3 qualifications of Sri Guru. He's completely peaceful and free from these, like that. I don't know, if anybody has a better explanation of this, please let me know. Maybe Ramananda Rai. Yeah, so these are the 3 things. Śābde, pare, niṣṇātaṁ, brahmaṇi, these 2 aspects of śābde and pare. He's niṣṇāta in these 2 aspects of śābde and brahma, and he is upaśamāśrayam. Completely, this material world has no effect on him. He's completely free from rag, kam, krodh, lobh, moha, like that. All these bad things. Sorry, this isn't a very clear explanation. I'm kind of just winging it right now. But anyhow, let's try to make a translation for this. So, so therefore, one who is jijñāsuḥ, who is inquisitive to know his uttama śreya, his ultimate, to know what is his, to know about his ultimate welfare, Therefore, therefore, one who is inquisitive to know about his ultimate welfare should take shelter, should surrender, should be, like the Bengali book says, should take shelter, should surrender, that's what it is, of Śrī Guru. So does that all make sense? Tasmād gurum prapadyeta jijñāsuḥ śreya uttamam. And Śrī Guru is, what is it? He's conversant in the scriptures, in the transcendental script, in the scriptures, has direct realization of the Lord, of the Supreme Lord, and so is completely peaceful and free from any material influence. I don't know. That's kind of just winging a translation. Oops. Anyhow, so let's go over and practice saying this verse now that you kind of have some basic idea of it. So remember, śābde, brahma, niṣṇātaṁ, śābde, brahma, niṣṇātaṁ, and pare, brahma, niṣṇātaṁ, and upaśama-āśrayam. upaśamā-āśrayam. Okay. Tasmād gurum, therefore, from Śrī Guru, prapadyeta, one should take shelter. Tasmād gurum, prapadyeta, tasmād gurum, prapadyeta, tasmād gurum, prapadyeta. Jijñāsuḥ, one who is inquisitive for his uttamashraya, for his ultimate welfare. Jijñāsuḥ śreya, jijñāsuḥ śreya, jijñāsuḥ śreya, uttamam, jijñāsuḥ śreya uttamam, jijñāsuḥ śreya uttamam. Let's say these both together. Tasmād gurum prapadyeta, jijñāsuḥ śreya uttamam. Tasmād gurum prapadyeta, jijñāsuḥ śreya uttamam. Let's try it without looking now. Let me turn off the video. Okay. Tasmād gurum prapadyeta, jijñāsuḥ śreya uttamam. Tasmād gurum prapadyeta, jijñāsuḥ śreya uttamam. Tasmād gurum prapadyeta, jijñāsuḥ śreya uttamam. Okay, let's do the second half now. Okay, and Rupa Manjari is making a point. I think the etymology that the sna in niṣṇātas has to do with snan, taking a bath. Yeah, very possibly. Very, very possibly. Okay, so śābde, so in the scriptures, and pare, sorry, the A makes it mean in. So the word is śabda, and śābde means in the scriptures. So the word is pare, but pare means in the Lord. And cha means and. They always put cha afterwards. They don't put it in between the two words, but they put it after the word. So in śabda and pare, niṣṇātaṁ, realized, well-versed, having experience, conversant. So, śābde pare, śābde pare, śābde pare, cha niṣṇātaṁ, cha niṣṇātaṁ, cha niṣṇātaṁ, śābde pare, cha niṣṇātaṁ, śābde pare, cha niṣṇātaṁ. And brahmaṇy, and these two aspects of śabda and pare, these two aspects of the absolute of brahmaṇy. Brahmaṇy is the absolute, and the absolute truth in the form of words, and the absolute truth in the form of his own form, Swayam Bhagavan Śrī Kṛṣṇa. So, brahmaṇy upaśama-āśrayam. Oh, sorry, I didn't do this, did I? Śābde pare cha niṣṇātaṁ, śābde pare cha niṣṇātaṁ, brahmaṇy upaśama-āśrayam. So these are two words, upashama and ashrayam, but then they merge together and they become upaśamāśrayam. So brahmaṇy upaśama-āśrayam, brahmaṇy upaśama-āśrayam. And actually with Sanskrit, see, this is a Y, this is a sandhi thing. So even though the word is brahmaṇy, because this E is followed by an U, this becomes a Y. And so then you say brahmaṇyupaśama-āśrayam, 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 brahmaṇyupaśama-āśrayam. Śābde pare cha niṣṇātaṁ, brahmaṇyupaśama-āśrayam. Śābde pare cha niṣṇātaṁ, brahmaṇyupaśama-āśrayam. Śābde pare cha niṣṇātaṁ, brahmaṇyupaśama-āśrayam. Let's try those two lines without looking now. Yeah, and Rupa Manjari is saying she might be wrong about the snan thing. Yeah, but anyways, it helps me it helps me remember the point. So, okay. So, śābde pare cha niṣṇātaṁ, brahmaṇyupaśama-āśrayam. Śābde pare cha niṣṇātaṁ, brahmaṇyupaśama-āśrayam. Śābde pare cha niṣṇātaṁ, brahmaṇyupaśama-āśrayam. All right. So let's do the full verse now. Tasmād gurum prapadyeta, jijñāsuḥ śreya uttamam. Śābde pare cha niṣṇātaṁ, brahmaṇyupaśama-āśrayam. Tasmād gurum prapadyeta, jijñāsuḥ śreya uttamam. Śābde pare cha niṣṇātaṁ, brahmaṇyupaśamāśrayam. Brahmaṇyupaśamāśrayam. Okay. Let's do it one more time with the looking, and then we'll try it 3 times without looking. Tasmād gurum prapadyeta, jijñāsuḥ śreya uttamam. Śābde pare cha niṣṇātaṁ, brahmaṇyupaśamāśrayam. And when you say the verse, try to think of the meaning of the verse, you know? So like, I'll try singing it like I was singing the verse. Therefore, of a Sadguru, one should take shelter. That person, that one who is inquisitive of his ultimate, of his uttamam, śreya, of his ultimate welfare, that guru is niṣṇātaṁ, well versed in the scriptures and in the Lord. In these two aspects of the absolute. And, you know, this material, he is completely above this material influence. So, tasmād gurum prapadyeta jijñāsuḥ śreya uttamam śābde pare niṣṇātaṁ brahmaṇy upaśama-āśrayam. Okay, let's try it without looking now. Tasmād gurum prapadyeta jijñāsuḥ śreya uttamam śābde pare niṣṇātaṁ brahmaṇy upaśamāśrayam. Tasmād gurum prapadyeta jijñāsuḥ śreya uttamam śābde pare niṣṇātaṁ brahmaṇy upaśamāśrayam. One more time. Tasmād gurum prapadyeta jijñāsuḥ śreya uttamam śābde pare niṣṇātaṁ brahmaṇy upaśamāśrayam. All right. Hopefully that was okay. I hope I didn't go too fast. Too slow, and that was boring. I wanted to read one more thing from Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj. He gives an explanation of this verse. This is from the first chapter of Sri Guru and His Grace. Rupa Manjari shared this with me. I'm not going to read the full chapter. I'm just going to read this little spot where he talks about this verse. Spiritual life, a one-way ticket. One should not approach the spiritual master cutting a return ticket. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada used to say, he used to always say, "You have come here cutting a return ticket." We must not approach the spiritual master with that attitude. Rather, we should think that we have seen everything, that we have full experience of this mortal world, and that we have nothing to aspire after. We have nothing to aspire after here. With this clear consciousness, we should approach the Guru. That is the only way for us to live. This world is mortal. There is no means, no possibility of living anywhere. There's no possibility of living here. And yet the will to live is an innate tendency everywhere. Sorry, I'm having a hard time reading. I only want to live and to save myself. I'm running to the real shelter. With this earnestness, the disciple will bring his spiritual master the necessary materials for sacrifice. He won't go to the spiritual master only to trouble the Guru, but will approach him with his own necessities already supplied. He will go there with his own bed and baggage. Not that he'll just show some kindness to the spiritual master and give him name and fame by becoming his disciple. So he's going there in a mood of surrender. Prapadyeta, he's surrendering himself to Guru. And what will be the spiritual master's position? He will be well versed in the revealed truth, not in ordinary information. Revelation in many shades has been spread in the world from the upper realm of Revelation in many shades has been spread in the world from the upper realm. But the Guru must have some spacious graphic knowledge. He must have extensive knowledge about the revealed truth. Śābde Brahma is the revealed truth, the transcendental. And he must always be practicing real spiritual life. His activities are all connected with spirit, not with the mundane world. He is concerned with Brahma, the plane which can accommodate everything, the fundamental basis of everything, niṣṇātam. Not that he is leading his life with any mortal, mundane reference. He always lives in the transcendental plane and keeps himself in connection with that plane his whole life. Whatever he does, he will do only with that consciousness. This is the version of the Upanishads. And in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 11.3.21, it is said, tasmād gurum prapadyeta jijñāsuḥ śreya uttamam śābde pare niṣṇātaṁ brahmaṇy upaśama-āśrayam. Maya means misconception. We are living in the midst of misconception. Our understanding of the environment is based on a completely misconceived set of ideas and thoughts. We have no proper conception of anything in the absolute sense. Our ideas are all relative. Provincial selfishness has been imposed on the environment, and we are living under that misconception. When one comes to the conclusion that everything around him is mortal and that everything will vanish, then, with that mood, he will feel the necessity of approaching the Guru, the divine guide and preceptor, with the purpose of inquiry. What is the highest good for me? What is the śreya uttamam? The uttam, the highest, śreya, good. He'll be inquisitive, he'll come with this mood of inquiry, jijñāsuḥ. With this inquiry, he will approach the spiritual master. So these are the two qualifications. See, first, this is the qualification of the disciple, the first two lines of the verse. He understands that this world, tasmād, remember that word tasmād, means that there's no happiness in this world. In this world, or even in the heavenly planets, everything is temporary here. And so, because of that, first, the shishya comes with that realization. And then he approaches this guru in this mood of surrender, prapadyeta. I surrender myself, I take your shelter of your lotus feet. And then he inquires, what is, that's the next thing. Then he inquires, what is the śreya uttam? And so now the second two lines, the last two lines of the verse is the qualification of the guru. And who will he approach? One who is not only well versed in the precepts of revealed scriptures, not only one who is śābde brahma niṣṇātaṁ, but who has also come in contact with the revealed truth, with the pare. So śābde Brahma and pare Brahma. One who is conversant with the very object of the scriptures and who has practical experience, who is niṣṇātaṁ, who is established in pure consciousness, is a genuine guru. One should approach such a guide for his own relief, to understand what is the highest benefit in the world and how to attain it. This is necessary. It is real. It is not imaginary. At the same time, it is difficult. The absolute truth must be sought out through a real process. Otherwise, we shall go the wrong way, and then we'll say, "Oh, there is nothing here. It is not real." So, only if we follow this real process of understanding the truth will we experience the real nature of divinity. Oh, we'll go through this verse also eventually. What is diksha? Anyways, that's a later verse. So, I hope... Sorry, this video has been really long, 40 minutes, and I haven't even gotten... Anyhow, I'm not very good at... I'm not very smooth at going through everything point by point and explaining everything clearly, but hopefully that was helpful. Thank you for sticking with me for 40 minutes. And yes, thanks for these notes, Rupa Manjari. Yeah, so let's just go through it one last time. We'll end with the verse again. Tasmāt, therefore, gurum, prapadyeta. Therefore, because there's no happiness in this world, it's all temporary. Guru prapadyeta. One should take shelter, one should surrender to Sri Guru. Jijñāsuḥ śreya uttamam. That person who is inquisitive, jijñāsuḥ, inquisitive about śreya uttamam, about one's ultimate welfare, the ultimate good, the topmost good, śreya uttamam. So one who is inquisitive about his ultimate welfare should take shelter, should surrender unto Śrī Guru. Tasmād gurum prapadyeta jijñāsuḥ śreya uttamam. And what are the qualifications of that guru? Those are the qualifications of the disciple. What are the qualifications of the guru? Śābde, pare, niṣṇātaṁ. Brahmaṇy. So śābde, and in pare, in the Supreme Lord. Niṣṇātaṁ. He's fully realized, fully conversant, has direct experience of, is absorbed in, of śābde and pare, Brahma. Śābde Brahma and pare Brahma. Brahmaṇy. These two forms of the Absolute. And upaśama-āśrayam. Upaśamāśrayam. This material world has no influence over him. He's completely peaceful, completely unaffected by the material world, by anger, lust, greed, envy, pride, illusion, all these different things. He's completely beyond that. So upaśama-āśrayam. Śābde, pare, niṣṇātaṁ. upaśama-āśrayam. Remember, brahmaṇy goes together with śābde and pare. So śābde Brahma, pare Brahma, niṣṇātam. That's the thing with Sanskrit. Everything's not always in like the natural word order we think of in English. So things are sometimes just mixed around. That's why it's a little confusing sometimes. But okay, so tasmād gurum prapadyeta. Think about it when you're saying these words. This is the easiest way to memorize shlokas: is that you think of the meaning while you're saying the words. Then it really sticks, and then it's not boring either. You're not just think of the word. Tasmāt, therefore. Guru prapadyeta, I'm surrendering myself to Śrī Guru. Jijñāsuḥ, because I'm inquisitive. Śreya, uttamam, about my ultimate welfare. Śābde, and that Guru is in śābde and pare. Niṣṇātaṁ, brahmaṇy, upaśamāśrayam. Think of the meaning of the words when you say it. Tasmād gurum prapadyeta, jijñāsuḥ śreya uttamam. Śābde, pare, niṣṇātaṁ, brahmaṇy, upaśamāśrayam. Tasmād gurum prapadyeta, jijñāsuḥ śreya uttamam. Śābde, pare, niṣṇātaṁ, brahmaṇy, upaśamāśrayam. Brahmaṇy, upaśamāśrayam. All right. I'm just curious, was I going at an okay pace? Like, do you have the verse memorized now? If you shut off this video, could you say the verse? Anyhow, I'm just curious to know. All right, thank you so much for joining me in this. And this verse is due the day after tomorrow? Or is it, no, I think it's due tomorrow. Anyhow, if you're in America, it's the day after tomorrow. So. All right, Haribol. And sorry for being so late for explaining this verse. I got confused because I heard different explanations. Somebody was saying that, I'm not even going to say the other explanations that I heard, but because I heard these other explanations of the verse, and I didn't understand what brahmaṇy meant, and anyways, I did some research and I kind of have an idea. I haven't seen it explained so clearly anywhere, actually, like what brahmaṇy means and stuff, but I kind of got it from this Bengali, what is it? I'll show you. This is the Chaitanya Gaudiya Math edition of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and it has commentary to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada's commentary. And it gives a word-for-word meaning, and it is kind of explained like that here, with the word brahmaṇy, meaning śābde Brahma and pare Brahma. And so that's how I kind of understood that. But anyhow. All right, Haribol. I'm going to stop the video now. All right, Dandavad Pranams Manjulali Manjari Didi and Rupa Manjari.